Alright, time for another video. Um, I'm in California, Santa Barbara. Yesterday I received this kind of message that schools will be closing beginning Monday, March 16th through at least Friday, April 3rd. Stay tuned for updates and details, which pretty much means the schools are done for till the rest of this year. To open them early is just not realistic because we didn't even reach the peak of the virus right now as far as the whole population goes. Okay, I want to address a couple of things before I start going to the solutions.
And right now, it seems to be getting to sort of a peak insanity about it. And if they're going to hang on to this narrative, this pandemic narrative, then I can predict the future. They're going to tell us that, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are dying around the world.
And yes, they are dying. And look at this cocksucking cunt. I mean, seriously. And how many people actually fell through into this disinformation trap. 8,400 people actually watched that disgusting creature yapping about stuff that that's the disinformation which been created by this event, and I'm pretty sure it's more than her yapping about stuff like that. Message to that creature and to Bill Gates: you're not gonna be able to escape the judgment. Bill Gates and his shit-eating friends, they're not. You're not gonna be able to hide from what's coming to you in your bunkers on private islands, because in order for those places to exist you need to have at least one person near you who has crown chakra. And what we're going to do, we're going to extract children who you stole from their parents. That's going to be our first step. And you going to be getting this disease. It's going to mutate, and all the cures that you actually created before this event started, they're not going to work for you. It's going to be disease of the rich, and you the ones who's going to be dying and coughing blood and shitting blood. That's what's coming to you. And this creature on this video, she deserves it. She's going together with them too. To put this kind of disinformation and smiling about everybody who saw those leaked videos from China, you cannot smile on them. That's a real suffering, that's a real emotions going on over there. And I feel really sorry about people who fell into this trap from this system. I'm really sorry for you guys. I do understand we're going through a lot of denial before you accept the situation. But come on, it's time to get on the same page.
Awareness.
Okay.
Strip of runway to begin to get their plane off the ground. Full for your wisdom, communications. Can you address the phenomenon of anger towards those of us who are trying to prepare? I have lost close friends over COVID-19, not from the virus, but because they are angry at the virus and angry at me for staying informed. Is sad. Totally get where you're coming from, Penny, and lots of people have experienced that, especially people who are on here now listening to this. Chris says, I got grilled by my family weeks ago for buying N95 mask, water, toilet paper, rice, beans, etc. They finally said sorry for getting mad at me today. So what's happening here? What's happening is something called the adjustment reaction. And this is an incredible piece of writing here by Peter Sandman. I got it from this link down here, and of course these links again will be available below. We're going to go through this whole article. It's just that good. An important strip of runway to begin to get their plane off the ground that other people are going to have to try and adjust all at once. And that's where the actual harm comes in. That's they call it, we want to avoid panic, but really what authorities are doing when they say that is they're denying people a lengthy adjustment process, and they're going to force them into a really panicked, harsh, nasty adjustment process, probably no different than having the blanket ripped off from a deep sleep and cold water thrown on you, right? It's just, there's two ways to wake up. That's not the right way. All right. Finally, awareness, wrapping this around Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief, which was, I was talking about the economic crisis I saw coming at that time, and I only inserted one extra step in here. So denial, anger, bargaining, fear, depression, acceptance. It's a very ordinary sort of a chain of emotional processes people come to. And it's something you should expect, because people coming to new information, especially belief-challenging information, is not a data-driven process. It's an emotional process. And so people's belief systems are rooted in through the limbic system into their bodies, and those need to be unhooked very carefully. And so just be aware of this. So denial, what would that look like? It's just the flu, bro. These people are still in denial. They're still out there. It's amazing. The data is so overwhelming. You're like, how can you be there still? It's because they're in very active denial, because they're defending a belief system that they're not ready to let go of yet. It has nothing to do with the data. And then you might come out of denial into anger. Dude, I said it's the flu. Stop telling me about this. They're getting angry with you. We saw that in these early things where back up here, where Penny and Chris were saying, people were getting mad at them. They're getting angry. Why are they getting angry? Because these people are probably at stage 2. They're at stage 2 out of the 6 stages of awareness. They're at the anger stage because they've just been woken up in an unpleasant way. They're not happy with that. Next comes bargaining. Hey, I'm taking a little extra vitamin C. This is all going to be fine if I just, shop once a week instead of twice. Whatever those mental bargaining things are to help them feel better about it. Once they realize the bargaining isn't working, fear or anxiety comes forward next. And then you might hear people worry about, oh my God, everything's going to collapse. I got to get toilet paper right now. This is where the panicky start comes in. And of course, the officials who prevent us from having a normal, healthy adjustment reaction until it finally bursts find that people skip right into fear usually. And they're right. They're right. Going straight to panic is a very bad way to do this. You shouldn't do it that way. That's a bad way to do it. Okay. Depression comes next. My statements might be, there's no hope, there's no point, we're all going to get it anyway. I think the UK Prime Minister was basically at depression and hadn't processed it appropriately. Well, let's just let it move through this. What are you going to do? We can't, there's nothing we can do anyway. Let's just let it burn through, right? Completely irresponsible thing to say. And finally, you get to acceptance and you say, well, it is what it is. Hey, this is the time I happen to be alive. This is what's happening. So let's do our best. Let's help each other. This is what that would look like. It's a very ordinary, normal process. As I wrote this all the way back in 2008, I would update it a little bit.
Okay, what I'm trying to do, you pretty much need to... Okay. I want everybody to be in this state. Acceptance. It is what it is, and I'll do the best to prepare, the best to contract, the best to make myself and my closed ones suffer less. With the other stages, you have to snap out and go through them really, really fast. Because when things start happening, like the school closing happening, that means we almost at the stage where the whole city is going to be quarantined. There you go. We're going to go through all of those. Event 201. And it's out there. Outbreak. Most likely because of the inactivity and the way they designed this event, approximately 85% of population will get the virus. From those 85% of those who get virus, 20% are gonna have hard cases. That means it's gonna be fever, it's gonna be flu, and it's gonna be pneumonia. For that scenario, you have to also be prepared. That's why I encourage you, before they closed up Amazon, in countries where you can get antibiotic, go ahead and buy them. In US, you cannot buy antibiotics without a doctor prescription. So I personally, for myself, using this stuff. Okay, that's a fever reducer, pretty good one. It's also inflammatory, anti-inflammatory. Sorry. Fish Max, which is amoxicillin, it's 500 milligrams, and it's much better quality than actually human amoxicillin. And for those who are allergic to amoxicillin or this antibiotic, it's a little bit better. I would actually even take both of them at the same time if I happens to be contract the virus. So when hospitals are overwhelming, that's many people will die. That's why you need to buy antibiotics and anti-inflammatory. This way you're not gonna, even if you get it, I mean, if it's gonna be hard, you're not gonna at least die. Okay. I also found one Russian gentleman and his wife. They actually contracted virus over a month ago, and they already went through it. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later on this video. The step number 2, when they invoke the quarantine, it just means martial law. For that you absolutely must have food supplies at home. Absolutely. Because during that period of time, you're not going to be able to leave the house. You're going to be staying inside of your apartment for at least 6 weeks or longer. So go through the logistical with and imagine what you must do in order to stay home comfortably for 6 weeks and just laying on the couch and watching TV if it's working, or DVDs, whatever. Figure it out. And step number 3, the global economic collapse, it's inevitable. I personally do not have money in the bank. I do not have 401k. I do not have any savings. So I'm pretty much have what I have, and I got a lot of food for myself and my family. For this particular, I'm doing the best I can. And for you, hyperinflation. What hyperinflation means? That means the bread what we're paying $2 right now, it's gonna cost